I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons, my Bibliosprand, Bibliohowlers, and Bibliomancers. Thank you so much for supporting my hobby and passion even more. It means so much to me. Hi everyone, Petrik here. So we are now at the end of October. So it is time for a book haul video. And in the month of October, I got 18 books. And yeah, that's a lot of books. And I'm going to start by talking about the books that I bought first. Yes, I bought a few books. But to be fair, they were insanely discounted and I couldn't resist. So I'm going to start by talking about the books that I bought first. And I bought 3 books this month. And the first book that I bought this month is The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. This is the second book in the Scholar Man series. And have I started reading this series yet? I haven't. And why did I got this book instead of the first book? Because as I said, this was heavily discounted. I think I got this one for $6. Yeah, it was really cheap. And hey, this is super floppy. I love it. I love this kind of floppy paperback. And honestly, after loving Spinning Silver so much, and even though I dislike Uprooted, well, I think I have to give Naomi Novik another try. Who knows? Right now, she's 50-50. I dislike Uprooted, I love Spinning Silver. And whenever I'm ready, let's find out whether Scholar Man's will be a hit for me just like Spinning Silver or a dud for me like Uprooted. And the next 2 books that I bought is in the same series and I haven't started reading this one too. And this one is in a fantasy series. This is the Wolf Hall Trilogy by Hilary Mantel. This is the second book. Bring Up the Bodies, and this is the third book, The Mirror and the Light. I have heard many amazing things about this trilogy. I don't know anything about this trilogy other than that. I don't even know who Thomas Cromwell is. My knowledge on this period of time is very minimal. I only know about Henry VIII and also Anne Boleyn, but other than that, I don't think I know anything beyond that. So hopefully whenever I give the Wolf Hall Trilogy a try, I still have to get the first book. Yeah, whenever I give this series a try, I hope that I will love this one. And yeah, I have heard so many amazing things about this trilogy. So if you have read this trilogy, do let me know whether this one is worth it or not. I hope that many of you consider this one to be worth it though. I got Bring Up the Bodies for $8 and I got this one, The Mirror and the Light, for only $1.5. So yeah, I couldn't resist. I just have to get them. Moving on to the next section, let's talk about the books that were gifted to me. And the first one that I'm going to show is the one where I already did the unboxing video, and it is for, yes, The Way of Kings Dragonsteel edition. This was sent to me by a viewer. I already did an unboxing video sharing my happiness of gaining this special edition to all of you. Seriously, I love The Way of Kings. The Stormlight Archive is one of my top favorite fantasy series of all time. One of my top favorite series, really. It is absolutely amazing. A masterclass in epic fantasy in my opinion. And this edition, this Dragonsteel edition of The Way of Kings has always been one of my most coveted special edition. When I heard that Jenn, a viewer on my channel, wanted to send me this special edition, I was completely in disbelief, and she actually delivered on that promise. And yeah, now it is in my hand. I will leave the link to my unboxing video on the description down below. But yeah, I love this one. This is easily one of the most gorgeous and stunning edition of any book that I own in my collection. This is up there with the Book of the New Sun, Folio Society edition, and also Warbreaker Dragonsteel edition. Love it so much, and I want to say thank you so much once again to Jenn for sending me this book. I will treasure this one. This is The Way of Kings Volume 1 and this is The Way of Kings Volume 2. But yeah, both of this equal to a single volume of The Way of Kings. And the next 4 books that were gifted to me are part of my wife's collection. Well, we're married now, so her books are now mine as well. So yeah, the first one that I'm going to show is Invisible Planets Collected Fiction by Hanu Rajaniemi. I've read John Lo Flumber, a sci-fi trilogy, one of the most complex trilogy that I've read, and I think it is very inventive. And I'm not gonna lie, the third book of that series completely blew my mind away, and I don't think I understand much of what's going on in that trilogy. In that third book anyway. I think even though John Lo Flumber is a small trilogy, relatively small trilogy, its complexity is definitely up there with Malazan Book of the Fallen. It is super complex and super difficult to tackle. But I have really loved the idea that Hanu Rajaniemi put into his books, and I want to try his short story collection here. Maybe he's like Ken Liu. Ken Liu's short story collection were amazing, and I really hope that Hanu Rajaniemi's collection of short stories will be as good. And then the next 2 books that I received, both of them are standalone novels, and these are Brit Marie was here by Fredrik Backman, and also My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologize by Fredrik Backman as well. I haven't read anything by Fredrik Backman yet, but I have watched the movie adaptation of A Man Called Ove, and I love the movie adaptation so much. Have I read the book yet? Not yet. But I've heard pretty much nothing but great things about Fredrik Backman's books, and in the future I definitely would like to try many of his books. Plus, I've heard that many of his novels are one-off standalone novels, and an amazing one-off standalone novel is always rare to find. And I know that these are not fantasy, they're rarer to find in epic fantasy in my opinion, but still, sometimes I want to take a break from reading a long series, and I think this kind of books, this kind of one-off standalone books are always needed. And the last book that I received here is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. I haven't done any research on this one. All I heard about it is that this is an awesome book and it has earned so many awards, so many prestigious awards, and my co-blogger Emma has really, I think, enjoyed this one, and I would like to give this a try someday. Moving on to the next section, let's talk about the self-published fantasy books that I got this month. And this month, in October, I got three self-published fantasy books. All of them seems epic and gorgeous. And the first one is the second book in Divinity's Twilight series called Remnant by Christopher Russell. This one is the sequel to Rebirth, and it is a much thicker book. Look at this. This is like, how many pages this is? I think 800 pages. Yeah, it is almost 800 pages long, and yeah, this is a much thicker book compared to the first book, Rebirth. And I've heard from everyone who have read both books, Rebirth and also Remnant, everyone agreed that this is supposedly a vastly superior book compared to the first one. I thought the first book was good, and it definitely had the potential to be an amazing and ambitious series. And I think if the second book delivered on that front, on these two fronts, I think my prediction will come true, and I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that will be the case. Also, this has a much bigger production value. Not only it has a much bigger map now, hold on, I'm going to show you to you here. This is done by the cartographer who did the map for Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill as well. And also, there are plenty of interior artworks here. All of them were so beautiful. I've only seen a few of them because I'm afraid of spoilers, but they were done with, I think, pencil. Like, take a look at this. I'm so looking forward to finding out the details behind the images put into this book. And yeah, there is a detailed recap of what happened in Divinity's Twilight Rebirth. So well done to Christopher Russell on that. I always praise any authors who include detailed recap. I always praise any authors who decided to include detailed recaps of the previous book in their sequels. I think this is a necessity in epic fantasy, especially remembering that this book is actually released 2 years after Rebirth came out. It is impossible to remember the details of the first book without a reread or, well, detailed recap, just like what Christopher Russell decided to include in Remnant. And of course, my copy of Remnant is signed by the author, and take a look at his handwriting. I think his handwriting is very neat. One of the neatest handwriting I've ever seen from an author. And then the next self-published fantasy book that I got, this one just came today, and it is The Severing Sun by Von Roycroft. I have talked about this book on my SFF Spotlight a few times now, and yeah, this is an epic fantasy that has been praised very highly by Philip Chase. The cover art is done by John Anthony Di Giovanni, and I think the cover art looks super beautiful. Look at this. Yeah. It has a wraparound cover art, and I hope that there will be a hardcover edition to this book someday. But for now, I'm so looking forward to reading this one because Philip Chase has praised this book very highly. He said it is one of the best self-published fantasy that he has ever read. And the author has also mentioned that he planned to actually finish the entire trilogy next year. So I think at the latest, I will actually read The Severing Sun next year. If I love The Severing Sun, I will definitely read the second and third book as well, as soon as possible. And the author was kind enough to actually sign and also personalize this book to me. Yeah, I think it's very nice of him. And he said, for Petrik, a leader in the fantasy community, especially because you deny it. Seize your destiny. Well, I will always continue to deny this statement. Oh, actually, another self-published fantasy book just came, and the title is 11th Cycle by Kian and Ardalan. This is the first book in a series called Mistland, and it is a Dark Souls and Bloodborne inspired novel. as a huge From Software Games fans, well, consider myself very much interested in reading this one. And the cover art by Nino looks absolutely stunning, and I have actually taken a look at the prologue of this book, and yeah, I think it captured the atmosphere of Dark Souls already. And yes, I'm so looking forward to reading this one, most likely in January. And then the last self-published fantasy book that I got is Soul. Yeah, Soul by Jacques Davis and also Kay Gerson. Soul from Gold to Iron and Rust. So this book isn't officially out yet. I have talked about Soul in one of my SFF Spotlight video, and yeah, this book isn't officially out yet. The Kickstarter for this one will soon be out, and this is easily one of the most beautiful self-published fantasy book that I have ever seen, because yeah, this one, okay, hold on, this one is signed. Yeah, it is signed to me. And also, take a look at this. Every single artwork in this book, every one of them is fully colored. And there are more than 20 illustrations on this. And I'm going to show you about 2 of them, okay? This one is illustrated by Kay Gerson. So this kind of artwork appeared at the beginning or at the end of every chapter. And yeah, I haven't mentioned this, but every single artwork in this book, every one of them are illustrated by the authors themselves. And this is another one. This one is done by Jacques Davis. So yeah, I'm really thankful to the authors for sending me a copy of this book. Seriously, I got the copy number 000, and I will leave the link to the Kickstarter in the description down below. Seriously, you have to really feel the quality of the paper and look at the artworks in person, because they look really nice. And speaking of artworks, the authors also sent me some prints of the artworks inside the book. So yeah, this is the cover art. Ta-da! And then you can also see this one, this one, this one, and this one. And as I said, every artwork here, you can see it on the book. They are included inside the book. Thank you so much to Jacques Davis and Kay Gerson for sending me a copy of Soul. And again, please make sure to check out the Kickstarter whenever it's out. And now moving on to the final section of this book haul video, and these are the books that I received from publishers to be read and reviewed. And the first one is Children of Memory by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is the last book in the Children of Time trilogy, so I really love Children of Time. I don't think the second book, Children of Ruin, was as good as Children of Time, but I hope that Children of Memory will deliver a satisfying and epic conclusion to the trilogy. I think this trilogy is very inventive, and thank you so much to Tor UK for constantly sending me Adrian Tchaikovsky books. And in October, Tor UK also sent me a copy of Legends and Lattes. Oh yeah, this is the UK physical art edition, and wow, this looks really nice. But as far as cover art goes, I think I still love the self-published fantasy edition more, because yeah, this cover art is really hard to beat. But this looks really nice as well. And the finished copy of Legends and Lattes actually featured this cover art as the end paper. Yeah, so you can actually see this cover art in its entirety on the UK hardback of the UK edition of Legends and Lattes. And yeah, this copy actually came with an extra short story titled Bodkin. I haven't read it, and yeah, I look forward to reading it very soon. Legends and Lattes is easily one of the most surprising books that I've read this year, and it is one of my favorite books of the year, which somehow came as a surprise to plenty of readers, because slice of life is actually one of my favorite subgenre in manga, and I'm glad to see that Travis Baldree is starting to make a slice of life fantasy novel more popular now. The last book that I got from Tor UK this month is a copy of Origins of the Wheel of Time, the legends and mythologies that inspired Robert Jordan, by Michael Livingston, with a foreword by Harriet McDougall. So I am incredibly interested in reading this one, but after reading the opening, the introduction, so it contained full spoiler, understandably, for the entire Wheel of Time. So I don't think I can read this one, because I am still in the middle of reading the Wheel of Time. So I don't think I can read this one until probably 2025. But take a look at the end paper though. Yeah, this looks really nice. And I think there are some, there are some photographies of Robert Jordan here. Yeah, this is Robert Jordan when he was young. This is Robert Jordan in 1968. And yeah, I look forward to reading this. It won't be soon though. It won't be soon. I am reading The Wheel of Time very slowly, about one book every 3 or 4 months. And at this rate, I will be done with The Wheel of Time, well, in 2024. So yeah, I won't be reading this one until I'm done with The Wheel of Time. But I want to share what's written on the back here because it's really nice. Many books are liked, far fewer are beloved, and only the rarest become something even greater, so deeply and passionately beloved that they transcend the pages between their covers and take on life within the lives of their readers. The most central truth of Jordan's fantasy is that it's built out of a great many of our own myths and legends. King Arthur is in The Wheel of Time, Merlin too, but so are Alexander the Great and the Apollo space program, the Norse gods and Napoleon's greatest victory. New readers continue to discover The Wheel of Time. You may be one of them. And then the next book that I received is a physical copy of Engines of Empire by R.S. Ford. So this one is the first book in the Age of Uprising. And I think the only reason I could own this is because of the author himself. So thank you so much to R.S. Ford for convincing Orbit US to send me a copy, because believe it or not, Orbit US never sent me a physical copy. I don't think, even though I got sent many books by Orbit, all of them were sent to me by Orbit UK. So there are different branch for Orbit US and Orbit UK. Orbit US usually send books only to reviewers resides in US and Canada. And I want to say thank you so much to Orbit US and also the author for sending me a copy of Vengeance of Empire, especially because Elliot Brooks constantly praised this book. I think she said that her pitch for Engines of Empire was, I think, A Song of Ice and Fire meets Final Fantasy XII. And I love both of them. So I think there is a really good chance that Engines of Empire will be a click with me. And then the next book that I got is something super exciting, even though it is a non-fiction. And this is Fight Magic Items, The History of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and the Rise of Japanese RPGs in the West by Aidan Moher. See, this one. This is a non-fiction and it is about Japanese RPG. And well, I cannot say this highly enough, but Japanese RPG and video games, they are a part of me. They influence my personality. They are a huge part of me growing up, and I wouldn't trade it any other way. I love it so much. I love Japanese RPG. I love gaming. Final Fantasy is, well, look at my t-shirt. Apparently, I'm wearing Final Fantasy t-shirt right now. But yeah, Final Fantasy is a huge part of me, especially Final Fantasy VII until Final Fantasy X. They are, I think, the best of Final Fantasy. Just from reading the introduction of this book alone, I already felt like I'm reading a story about a brother that I never met residing in Canada and somehow grew up kinda similarly with me, because seriously, gaming is something that was super. I absolutely love Japanese RPG, and yeah, I am so looking forward to reading Fight Magic Items. And I want to say thank you so much to the author and the publisher Running Press for sending me a copy of this. I will definitely read this one. And finally, the last book, or the last box that I got in the month of October, just like usual, is a box from Illumicrate, and this one is for the box Book Devourers, their September box of the month. I am nearing the end of my rep terms with Illumicrate, so the next one, the next month's book haul will be the last book haul you see me featuring a book from Illumicrate, at least for a while, because I'm not renewing my term with them. Not because they haven't been nice to me, but because the custom fee in my country has increased lately. I'm not joking, just for this box alone, I actually have to pay $25 custom fee. And that's a lot. And doing that every month, well, that costs quite a lot eventually. So yeah, I have to stop being a rep for them for now. But moving on, I'm going to show you what's inside this box. The first one is the Great Libraries book pot. So you can see this, an archive of great libraries, and at the back you can see it's written Journey Through Our Greatest Collections of Knowledge. And yeah, this is the spine. And yeah, I think this one looks really nice though. This is designed by Chatty Nora, and it is written, Our next book pot is an ode to all of our favorite libraries. And yeah, thank you so much to Illumicrate for this one. And the next one is Books Are My Weakness Book Organizer, designed by Fess Ingright. See? I don't actually know the function of this one, so I just put 1 or 2 books inside this. Yeah, I'm not sure what's the purpose of this one, but hey, at least it looks nice, okay? And the next items are Eat Your Words snack plates. So I'm going to open these two now. So yeah, this is a pair of plate. This is white and this is black. And yeah, I think both of them looks really nice. The last item inside this box before I show you the book is a reading prompt cards for the indecisive bookworm who has too many books. But I have way too many books, but I don't think I am ever indecisive. But as it stated, if you're someone who are indecisive, I think these reading prompt cards can be very nice. So for example, I take something here and it's written a book you never finish. So yeah, you pick up a book that you never finish. And then another one here is a book recommended by everyone you know. And now time to show you the highlight inside this box, and that is the book, The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean. And I think The Book Eaters have been gaining plenty of great receptions. And yeah, this is the spray edges. This is also the back cover. And this is the spine. And at the back cover, it is written, once there was a mother who fed on stories and would do anything to survive. And of course, because this is the Illumicrate exclusive edition, this comes with a unique end paper. And of course, it also has a specifically designed naked hardcover. Ta-da! This looks really nice, right? Design for the naked hardcover is done by Rosie Thorne, and there is a wraparound cover to it. This is the spine, and this is the back cover. Yeah, I think this looks really nice actually. But I haven't read The Book Eaters yet, but those who have read this one usually love this. So yeah, I look forward to reading this someday. Thank you so much to Illumicrate for sending me this box and also this book. And if you're interested in subscribing to their 3 months and 6 months subscription, make sure to use my code Petrik5 on checkout to get a discount. So yeah, that's all the books that I got within the month of October. That's a lot of books. 18 books is a lot of books. And do let me know how many books you got in the month of October, and happy Halloween, by the way. And lastly, do let me know which of these books that I just showed you that you plan to get someday or that you have loved. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me and my new bibliomancer, Garrick. Your extra support means a lot to me.